Hello and welcome back. Another day, another DILR workshop. This is from CAT 22 and this is from slot 1. I'm assuming that before doing this particular workshop, you have done the foundations, you have done all the previous work involved, so uh, that you're aware of what logic is, how operations work, and how the process works. You read and you deduce. You put a lot of conditions together and you come to a new conclusion. You use that conclusion to make more conclusions. The various mindsets and approaches that in CAT, sometimes there is a split in the story. You can create two scenarios, multiple stories, right? Creating multiple scenarios essentially, uh, doing detailed grid work, a lot of number of steps, etc. Right? So I'm assuming all of that work is in place, and we are ready for the test situation. And as of now, in this particular session, my main agenda is that once again, just the way we did in reading workshops, that there is enough easy stuff out there, right? This particular set that we will solve today is zero preparation and zero effort. By zero effort, what I mean is that as you read the story and reach the end of the story, you can very clearly see what the next steps are going to be. And as you take those steps, each step is very, very clear. The next step is very clear. And the number of steps is also fairly low, right? So the logic is easy, the story is easy to read and comprehend. The steps are always visible to me. The first step is very clearly in front of me. And from that, I get the next step. So easy to read and easy to do in quick time, right? So if you've worked hard at DILR, you will definitely find it easy. My contention is that even if you have done, let's say, you have some basic training in logic that you know what we are doing here, then even in that case, you can solve this set, especially if you can find it in the exam scenario, because in the exam, this was the fourth case, right? So it is paramount that before you start doing a particular challenge, you have gone through all of them and figured out which is the easiest one to do. And how will you do it? With these criterias only. Is the story easy to read? As I read it, is it making sense to me? Is the picture very clear to me? Can I take the steps? Can I take the steps? Yes, but are there too many steps? Right? So that could be another level of difficulty. Because the logic is very clear to me that I have to just keep adding this number over and over again, but I have to do it too many times, right? Or the story is easy to read, but the story is big, so it will take time for me to figure it out, right? So using those criterias, I decided that this is the easiest set to manage. This is exactly what I did while choosing the set. I went through all the cases, just reading through the story quickly. It might take 2.5, 3 minutes, 4 minutes in the beginning, but essentially it's about question selection because it also says here that if you manage this set, you're almost at the 85 percentile score. So to those people who have worked all year long and they're still struggling at 70, 75 percentile, 80 percentile at DILR, I'm saying that find that one easy set to do and you solve it and you cross 85 percentile. So probably the score is not reflective of your intelligence, but your question selection, your strategy, right? You're calm in the middle of the storm. Can you find the easy thing to do? So I mean, solving it will be very, very easy. And this is the first of very many CAT 22 workshops. So the solving part is going to be fairly easy. This is more of a reminder that there is easy stuff. Whether you talk about RC or QA or DILR, there is easy stuff. Now it's up to me. What do I make out of the test? Is it a tough test or is it a test mostly made of easy stuff which I can do? So it is mostly made of easy stuff which I can do. So change your mindset and approach and filter the universe like this because whatever you believe becomes true. So if you think that everything is difficult, you will look at an easy set, but your brain is going, bro, this is DILR. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then obviously your performance is going to go down, right? So the main agenda is develop that mindset that yeah, there is definitely a lot of easy stuff. And I saw it in this workshop, I saw it. We have had a whole series of zero prep sets discussion earlier also, but just continuing that furthermore with more vehemence of feeling, right? So let me dive into the story. Adhara Bithi Chaya Dhanavi. So as my brain read this, very quickly my brain is not reading the names and paying attention to the names. It is saying A, B, C, D, E, and F, right? Are the interviewers, so there are interviewers in the story, in a process that awards funding for new initiatives. Very easy story so far. There are six interviewers. Every interviewer individually interviews each of the candidates. So there are the candidates individually. So Adhara will interview all the candidates, Bithi will interview all the candidates, and so on and so forth. And again, notice what am I doing? As I read the theory, I'm trying out an example to understand it better. This is from your reading comprehension as well, right? So Adhara will interview everyone, Bithi will interview everyone, and so on and so forth. So your brain is working out the logic behind the scenes. And awards a token only if she recommends funding. So if Adhara recommends the funding, she will award a token to the candidate. So there is an interviewer giving a candidate to the giving the token to a candidate, not a candidate to a token. A token has a face value of 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, or 13. Great. Each interviewer awards tokens of a single face value only. So again, for example, if I say Adhara gives the token which has the value of 5, throughout in the story, she can only give out the token with the value of 5. She will not give 5 to one candidate and 2 to another candidate and so on and so forth, right? Again, I'm assuming that most people, and again, let me remind you again that this is a function of reading skills as well, right? And that's why so much effort in reading we put. Once all six interviews are over for a candidate, the candidate receives a funding that is rupees 1000 times the product of the face value of all the tokens. Again, this might be difficult, but it immediately gives you an example. Examples make our life easy. If a candidate has tokens with face value 2, 5, and 7, right? So there is some candidate, he got three tokens, the values were 2, 5, and 7. They get the funding of rupees 1000 into 2 into 5 into 7. So you multiply the token value and then you just throw 1000 at the end, right? So this 2 into 5 into 7 is 70 and my total amount is 70,000. So by now the story should be very clear to me. There are six interviewers. They will interview various candidates and whether, depending on if they want to fund the initiative or very simply put, they will give or not give the token, and the interviewers have fixed numbers, right? Not fixed face values for the tokens that they give. So the story is very clear to me. Pragnya, Kahira, Rashida, Smera, and Tantra were five candidates who received funding. The funds they received in the descending order were rupees 390, it is 390,000 actually, 390,000, and is the same for all the other values as well. That's the first thing I did. I removed all the thousands. Why? Because as I observed the logic, I see that 1000 is the easiest part of the story. So my main focus is on the multiplication of the token face values. The 1000 is nothing, it's just there at the end, right? So from all the stories, I removed the 1000 so that I can look at the numbers without burdening my brain. You can't do it in the on the exam computer, but mentally you can think, okay, the number is 390, 210, 165, 77, and 66. Also, so my brain already knows, I mean, I and you, we already know that this 390 is the product of the token values. Okay, so 390, quickly I'm going to factorize. 390 is 39 into 10. 39 is 13 into 3. And these are all numbers that I see here, right? 13 into 3 will give me a 39 and a 2 into 5 will give me a 10. 39 into 10 will give me 390 and that multiplied by this extra 1000 will give me 390,000. So I see that, okay, I have to factorize this. I don't have to think too far ahead. I don't have to think about my life and future and career and marriage and children. I just have to think, okay, boss, this task, because the game was, a hint was given to me, factorize, right? So this task I definitely have to do. That is what I've already done, let's say for us. Ideally, you should be doing it by yourself to develop your own muscles. Otherwise, I'll be very, very strong and you'll be wherever you are, right? So 390 is 13 into 3 into 2 into 5. Hit pause right now maybe and work it out for yourself. 210 was 21 into 10, so 3 into 7 into 2 into 5. 165, I divided by 5, and then I got 33, and 33 became 3 into 11. 77 was very easy, 66 was very easy, right? So I know this 390,000 person got these four tokens from four out of these six interviewers, right? Just reminding you of the story. The following additional facts are known. Great. Fatima awarded tokens to everyone except Kahira. Okay. Let's think. Can Fatima be, I'm going the very slow, very basic deductive way. Can Fatima be 13? 13 is only given to this character, the 390,000 person. 13 is not even there in any of the numbers. Here it said Fatima awarded tokens to everyone. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people there. Out of 5, 4 people she gave tokens to. So 13 can't be the number. And as I think it, I realize, okay, I'm looking for a number which is there in 4 out of these 5 these boxes, basically, right? So there is a 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and a 3 here. The 3 is everywhere. Just to be sure and just to be slow, 2. 2 is here and here. 2 is present in the 390 value, 2 is present in the 210 box, but it's not there in the 165, and it's not there in the 77. So it's not present in 2 of the 5 candidates. Whereas I am looking for a story which is present in 4 out of the 5 candidates. That is obviously 3. So this little game or just reading it and thinking about it, right? I am sure if you think about it, you will get the answer. Sometimes the problem is that because we carry, some of us carry a lot of fear for the subject, and uh, we've not been taught to think by ourselves. We are given formulas more often than not. So we're just uncomfortable wherever there is not, the path is already not given to us. But if you look at it, you find the path. And after a while, this will become your favorite thing because this is so much more fun than knowing the path already. So you have to like figure out, and every little step that you take, that is Fatima is equal to 3, will give you a little joy also. Yeah, okay, great, right? Fatima is equal to 3. And now the game is becoming clearer and easier for me. While Adhara awarded tokens to no one except Pragna, okay? Adhara gave token to only one person. 3, obviously Adhara can't be because Fatima is 3. What about 2? If I look at 2, 2 is present for 390 also, 290 also, and in the 66 story. So this, whoever has the token face value of 2 has given it to 3 people. I am looking at something which is only given to one person, and obviously the answer should be popping at you that it is going to be this 13. So I figured out from the same story or the same piece of information that Adhara is equal to 13. This is what I mean by very little effort. Because as we progress in the journey, and or if you have seen it in earlier videos for the difficult sets, you will see that in the difficult set, even after reading a rule, I don't get anything. I have to use that rule and a third rule and one rule 5 steps away, combine them together, and then I come to the conclusion. Here, from the very first sentence, I've got two very clear conclusions, right? Okay. Again, read the same story again. Fatima awarded tokens to everyone except Kahira. So I figured out Fatima was 13, was 3. But I also know that Fatima has not given a token to Kahira. The token number 3, the token with face value 3, is not there in this particular story, the 77,000 story. So this has to be Kahira, right? Because otherwise, this token is present everywhere. Fatima is given to everyone except this person, and this person has to be Kahira. Similarly, I know Adhara is 13 to no one except Pragnya. So this must be Pragnya. One story and 4 conclusions I've got, right? Same game going on, and now we're almost done with the set, right? We spend like a minute more and we are done with the story, and we get 5 questions right. Rashida received the highest number of tokens that anyone received, but she did not receive one from Esther. Now, if I look at highest number of tokens, these two candidates, 390 and 210, have the highest number of tokens, right? Pragnya is already taken. This person is already Pragnya. So this person must be Rashida, right? Very easy level conclusion to make. So okay, you may get confused here. You may say, no, these are equal. What does this mean? If they are equal and the story is still saying somebody has received highest number of tokens, so there must be two people with the highest number of tokens. So you take the next step. Don't think too much about it. Why do I know this? Because I did think too much about it. I was like, "Arey, but Pragna, oh, bad data, right?" Like, but so remove all emotions from the process, and then it's very, very easy. This is going to be Rashida. Received the highest number of tokens that anyone received, but she did not receive one from Esther. Okay. So if I look at Rashida, Rashida has got a 3, a 7. So Esther is not 3. I already know Esther can't be 3 because Esther is, Fatima is 3. Esther can't be 7, can't be 2, can't be 5, can't be 13. So if I look at the story, can't be 2, can't be 3, can't be 5, can't be 7, can't be 13. The only thing that is left is 11. Now, right now, I'm not even making that elaborate grid box or structure even to communicate, because this, I think, can be done orally, right, in your brain. Okay, I just look at the numbers, I say, okay, 3, 7, 2, 5 is gone. So is 13. So that means out of these numbers, only 11 is left. So that tells me that Esther is going to be 11. The token's face value for Esther is 11. Uh, Moving on. Bithi awarded a token to Smera, but not to Kahira. Okay, great. Bithi is one character, and the numbers that we are left with so far, you should be able to work it out. 3, 13, 11. 3, 13, 11 are gone. So 2, 5, and 7 are left for the story, right? Bithi awarded a token to Smera, but not to Kahira. So a token face value, which is not present in the Kahira story, but present in the Smera story. And anyway, there are only two characters left, so it should not be too difficult to figure out or to try it out, right? So maybe this is Smera. Just start thinking, right? This is one direction of thinking. Maybe this is Smera and 11, 11. So Bithi can't be 11. Anyway, Esther is 11. And Bithi can't be 7 uh, because she did not give a token to Kaira. Nor can Bithi be 3. So I'm thinking Bithi's token face value is 5. Now, this could be the story that Bithi, which is face value 5, has given a token to Smera, but not given a token to Kahira. Uh, but this is where I have to pay careful attention. I could also have a story where Bithi is 2. So let me just throw it on the screen. So far, I'm saying Bithi can be 2 or 5. That's the crux of the story. That's the point that I'm trying to make. What if Bithi's token value is 2? Because even in that case, there is no 2 in the Kahira story. That means Bithi has not given the token to Kahira and has given a token to this person. So this could also be Smera, right? So far, let's say I have not read the last piece of information. This could be the situation, right? So if this is Smera, this has to be Temra, whatever basically T. Or if this is T, then this has to be S. So maybe that's the best we can do. And again, this idea that there can be a split in the story, there can be multiple universes, multiple worlds being made, and I might have to do extra work, is should be a part of foundation theory, right? Because I know I have covered it in the very first 6, 7 days of videos, right? That that's the first level of difficulty extra. Otherwise, the sets would be very, very easy. You just grade it out, everything works out. So in the cat, something unique was that you get two stories, right? You have to make the diagram twice. So not even too much work here. I just see that these are the possible scenarios. While Dhanvi awarded a token to Kahira but not to Smera. If I look at Kahira, Kahira has got a 11, which is from Esther. That means the 7 must be from Dhanvi because Dhanvi has given a token to Kahira. So this tells me that Dhanavi is equal to 7. So I figured out everything that I could figure out from the rules given. Uh, so I can now move to the questions, and either the question will have more information which will help me resolve this, or whatever answers I need can be worked out from whatever information I have. But also, for example, this particular question could have been figured out 2, 3, 5 minutes ago because we had this data very quickly. How many tokens did Kahira receive? Kahira received 2 tokens. This I figured out very, very quickly in the very first step. So maybe a good idea could also be to check out what question can I solve with the information that I have worked out. This is for advanced Ninja users, right? But I figured out the now everything also almost I figured out just for reference. Who among the following definitely received a token from Bithi but not from Dhanavi? So it should not have a 7 and Bithi could be 2 or 5, right? And I want definitely. So I want a story where both 2 and 5 are present. This is a story where both 2 and 5 are present. This is a story where both 2 and 5 are present. Because otherwise I can't say for sure. This may be Bithi, this may not be Bithi. Oh, also, by the way, there is one more character, which is Chaya. She'll also be 2 or 5. Depending on what Bithi turns out to be, whether 2 or 5, Chaya will take the other value, right? So 2 and 5 should be present, but 7 should not be present, but not from Dhanavi. So there is a 7 here, so this cannot be the answer. This has to be the answer. Answer will become Pragna, right? So once you figure out this basic detail, life has become very, very easy. Uh, Let me keep this data here and let me move the questions also because my beautiful face will also take up some space. Though I don't know why my face is needed. I think voice and the screen should be enough, but modern day etiquettes. How many tokens did Chaya award, right? So Chaya, remember, is 2 or 5, okay? So Chaya has, whether it's 2 or 5, has awarded a token to Pragya. Whether it's 2 or 5, has awarded a token to uh, Rashida. Now, okay, so two tokens so far. Now, for a minute, let's assume she is 5. So, one, 2, 3. She has given to 3 people. Now, assume she is 2. So, one, 2, and then 3. So, whether you assume Chaya to be 2 or 5, in both cases, the answer comes out to 3, which is already listed here. Because I already did a session where the video was misplaced, so I'm doing it again. So, the answer is already on screen. How many tokens did Smera receive? Smera is either either this 165 person or this 66 person. In either of the stories, Smera has received 3 tokens, right? So life is very, very easy. So this is not only zero prep. That means you don't, by zero prep, I also mean you don't need a formula. You don't need, you can't the way you can train yourself for an arithmetic question or geometry question by just doing a lot of same repetitive stuff so that access to the formula and the data is very, very quick, you can't do in DILR, right? And that's why if you look at the percentile scores, the 99.9 is available at a lower score than quant and reading, right? So by zero prep, I mean zero formula, except maybe knowing how to play these games. You don't need any specific extra training. Even if you have not done anything for 5, 6, 7 days, not revised anything, you can still try it out. It's mostly a reading comprehension game and then a little bit of logic, right? We're almost done. There's one more last question. Which of the following could be the amount of funding that Tantra received? Tantra received, this could be Tantra, so 165,000. This could be Tantra, so 66,000. The story is giving me both, so therefore I'll go for both A and B. Right? Now, a mistake that somebody made earlier was that when they were trying out the story, they told me that they just quickly just assumed because they said, oh yeah, 5 is not here. Okay, just compared quickly. They did not compare these two and consider this could also be the story. So they went with this story, or let's say vice versa. Somebody assumed S here and T here. Now, the good news is, even if you make this mistake, you will still get 4 out of the 5 questions right, because this is the only one which actually tests that knowledge. Otherwise, your answers will come out bang on right. Now, I know that's not the perfect way, but life works in mysterious ways. Sometimes you make 100 even though you're a bad player, and sometimes you end up making a duck even though you're a good player. So enjoy those lucky chances, but even that, your majority chunk of the logic was in place. Maybe it was a hurried mistake, but be more careful in future and be very specific in your story, right? So solving was not a thing. I think I as a service provider, I solve everything. But I think most people, most serious candidates would have managed this fairly easily if they found it, right? That is a major concern. That did you find the right set or not? So as of now, your practice should be okay, okay, let me go through my old test, old mocks, put four sets together and compare which is easy, which is difficult. That's the only game. Don't worry about solving it also. Just develop a knack for spotting the language, the initial step. The numbers were so easy to factorize. 1,000 was so easy to eliminate. It took no time to factorize the numbers. The sentences were small. The story being shared was easy to deduce in one go. Put all of these together, develop your own instinct as well, and you're good to go. But remember, today's main agenda in this particular workshop, let's say, is definitely for those people who are like struggling or saying, oh my God, this is like difficult and there is pressure. I'm saying focus on the easy stuff. Whatever you believe to be true becomes true. So start believing that majority, 50% of the test, you don't even need to solve 50%, is easy and doable. If you've worked hard, then obviously there is that extra confidence of just knowing a lot of stuff and having skill. That is great. But I'm saying for the struggler Janta, there is a lot of hope if you can keep calm and find the easy stuff to do. So with that, I will stop and I will see you really soon with the next workshop, continuing this slot by slot discussion and continuing this escalation in difficulty. So in the next set, you will see two kinds of categories. One where the logic is easy, the idea is very clear, but a lot of steps repetitively, right? So it's as you unless you develop that Zen focus in the moment, okay, I will just think of the next step. I will not think of how big the challenge is. You can still manage it. And the other one was where there's not too much data, but you might have to think about what's happening and think extra about the scenarios, right? So not too much paperwork, but like mentally, like trying to figure out and trying various scenarios quickly to get to the end of the story. So as we'll see in the future videos. So with that, I'll stop and I'll see you really soon.